Hello friends, in this video I'm going to discuss about how we can create an Azure Data Factory instance. As you can see, I have logged into Microsoft Azure portal through which I'm going to create an Azure Data Factory instance. So if you see here, I'm clicking on create a resource. So I can see various categories that are being offered by Microsoft Azure. In order to create Data Factory, I need to go to the integration category and I need to click on Data Factory. So once I click the data factory, I will be getting this basic screen in which I'm going to provide the basic details that are needed for creating a data factory instance within Azure portal. So in this, I need to choose my subscription. Right now, I'm using a free trial subscription. So I'm choosing this as my subscription. So once we choose the subscription, we need to choose the resource group to which we need to deploy this Azure Data Factory series. So for demo purpose, I'm creating a new data factory in a new resource group. So I'm clicking create new here and I'm giving a name here for the resource group, Azure Data Factory demo. So once I give the resource group name, we need to give our data factory name that is going to be the data factory instance name. And just to mention, it should be unique across the Azure data factory, Azure. And just to mention, the name which we're going to provide for the data factory should be unique across Azure data factory. See, I'm trying to give data demo factory as a data factory instance name, and the Azure portal is showing some error that the data factory name is already taken. So we need to choose some other unique name. So I'm giving demo factory Azure campus. So once it is validated, we'll be able to see a green tick mark over here, which represents that the validation is completed for the name. So once I give the name, I need to choose the region in which I'm going to deploy all these data factory resources. So let me choose South India and the version. So right now we're having only one available version, V2. So let me choose that one and let me go to the next screen where we can define the Git configuration. So if you want to configure something in Azure Data DevOps or like GitHub, you can use this screen to configure all the Git repository details in which the code and all the pipeline definitions are going to be synced to this repository. For now, I'm choosing this checkbox so that I can define the Git in the upcoming videos. And I'm going to next screen. So this is about networking blade where you can define all the network settings that are needed for Azure Data Factory. So right now I'm going with the default options. I'm just clicking next, advanced, then tags, and then review and create. This final screen, we can review all the details that we have provided in the earlier screens, and just we need to click on create. So once we click on create, Azure will accept the deployment and it will deploy the resources based on the inputs that we have provided in various screens. So hardly it may take like 1 to 2 minutes to get a new data factory to us. So okay, data factory resource deployment has been completed. So and once the deployment is done, you will be able to see a screen like this where we have a link to access the data factory that we have created just now. So once I click on this go to resource, it will be taken to the data factory that we have created. As you see, the data factory instance name is created as this one, demo factory Azure campus, and this particular data factory instance has been deployed to a location South India. You can find other details like resource group and the subscription in which it got deployed. So once you created the Azure Data Factory, this is the main screen which you're going to have for every data factory instance that you're going to create in Azure portal. So in the left side, you can see various blades like settings blade, getting started, monitoring and automation, and the support blade where you can raise multiple support requests to the Azure portal if you need some technical help from the Microsoft guys. So if you scroll down the right side, you'll be able to see something called Getting Started pane, where you have a link to open Azure Data Factory Studio and the documentation. So this documentation will redirect you to the official documentation page where you can get much data about Azure Data Factory and various tutorials and the concepts that are required to develop various data integration pipelines. And if you scroll further down, you can see the monitoring pane. This is just like a high level graphical representation where you can monitor the activities or the pipeline runs to check and validate the previous run status or like data. So let me click here to take you to the Azure Data Factory Studio. So once you click here, it will be opening in a new tab in which we'll be actually logging to the Azure Data Factory instance where we can design our data integration pipelines. Okay, so this is the home screen that we're going to get when I click on that Azure Data Factory Studio link. So as you see, you'll be having four options on the left side. This is something called home, in which you have some templates and some other documentation resources and everything. The various usual links which you can use and get the support from various technical community related to the Azure Data Factory. And this is something called author where the actual work and the design and development will happen, in which we are going to design all our pipelines, data sets and data flows and Power Query. In this third tab called monitor, we can monitor and see the historical runs that are being executed in this particular Azure Data Factory instance. The screen will have only the pipeline details that are executed in this particular Azure Data Factory instance. So, and the last one is manage, where you can configure the various linked services, integration runtimes, and the Git configuration and triggers to schedule or to run the pipelines on an automated basis. So which we are going to explore in our further videos. So for now, this is all about Azure Data Factory and how you can create an Azure Data Factory in Azure portal using the UA portal. This is just like a one way how you can create an Azure Data Factory. Along with this UI method, you have multiple other options like PowerShell, Azure Bash scripting, through which you can create the Azure resources through code automatically, in a programmatical way. So as this is just one single data factory, create the resources using the user interface that is provided by Azure. But if let us say if you have a scenario where you need to create multiple data factory instances like 10 to 20, then it's tough to create all the 20 data factory resources using user interface. That's why it is offering like predefined PowerShell commands and Azure Bash commands through which you are going to create like data factory using the programmatical commandlets, which makes like developers are the integration resource creation easy. So that is all about like Azure Data Factory resource creation. In our upcoming videos, we are going to discuss further about all these tabs and other various pipelines, link services, and all other components along with the real-time scenarios. Thanks for watching.